I feel like the last time we were in class together, I was shorter than you.
Definitely.
Like, I'm not used to looking at you from this angle in a dance class. Hey, it's Josephine. Welcome to Dance Medica. This is one of our founding members, Barbra Bean Abell, and one of the cool things is she was actually my dance teacher when I was growing up. So this is going to be kind of like 20 years ago. She's now a Pilates instructor as well as a dance coach. So she's going to be showing us some things to do before dance class. Back in the day, remember when we would just plop down into your splits? And that's not a thing anymore. So science says no, and we're gonna do a much better warm-up routine.
The only tool that you need, 9-inch yoga ball, and I inflate it like 3/4. So it's not super hard, it is a little bit squishy. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the breath. In Pilates breath, we always inhale through the nose, we exhale through the mouth. Your lungs are three-dimensional, so you want to think of them like balloons. Picture what happens when you inflate a balloon. You breathe into the front, the sides, and the back of the lungs. And as dancers, we so often breathe into the front and side and get the ribs splaying. You almost want to think that you have a partner back here with hands on your back. You're going to take a deep breath in into front, side, and back of the lungs, and then all the air out, sinking those ribs down and pulling the navel deep into the spine. The first thing that you would have wanted to do when you came in is get the heart rate up. You get your wiggles out, walk around the room, jumping jacks, do whatever it is, and then we're going to go down to the floor and we're going to bring that focus inwards. You're going to reach the arms forward. Now using the breath, taking a deep breath in, exhale, pull that belly in to contract, and you're going to roll slowly all the way down onto the mat. Arms will come down to your sides and you're going to elongate your head. In this position, you want to think of having your hip flexors released. So, yes, did you see how you were a little tilted there? So the hip flexors are released. You have a nice length in the spine, real flat and open across the shoulder blades. I always say, think of what it would feel like to lay on the beach and have as much of your skin in contact with the sand as you can. So you're going to take that inhale through the nose. Exhale all the air out through the mouth and feel yourself sinking into that sand. So you're releasing all that excess tension. After you've done your cardio, you lay down on the floor, 2 to 4 breaths. You can close your eyes, getting that internal focus. Now you're ready to warm up. So again, we're on the beach. Her neck is nice and long, knees into the chest, heels connected to those sits bones. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, she's going to sink the ribs down, belly in. She's not arching her low back. And hold. Breathing into the back, bring those knees in. And then exhale, scoop and lower. A lot of dancers will also try too hard, as we generally tend to do. If you look at my rib cage, and we'll do this. Oh, now my ribs are stuck, I can't get the breath out. So it's the feeling of inhaling, softening the ribs, and then pulling the belly in. Your waistline naturally narrows, and you pull in flatter across the transverse abdominis.
I never think about the breath when I'm doing these things. I just suck in everything.
Right, and then what you're doing is actually increasing the tension in your body. So you're using your muscles inefficiently. So that's what we're trying to focus on, is using muscles efficiently and correctly.
Yes.
We're throwing out that 1.5-minute song we were doing crunches, straining our neck, using our upper traps too much. I take the ball, you're placing it underneath the low spine. The goal is to not crush the ball. Keep it at almost the same shape by pulling that belly in. Your pelvis will tilt a little, and that's okay. For a lot of you, when you first start out, you may have to use your hands behind the legs for help. Your goal eventually is to take the arms open and then place them behind the head without letting those elbows come forward. I take 4 slow counts. Think of cambray back. Inhale over the ball, 2 and 3 and 4. Then I close the ribs and I pull that belly in to crunch coming off the balls. And ribs, belly. The goal is not to get to this position where I'm using my ball as a pillow and crushing it, right? You're really pulling the ribs and belly in, bring chin to chest just a little. So you are starting round. Take the arms out to the sides and then hands behind the head. Deep inhalation for 4 counts. We go over the ball. Inhale, 2 and 3. Keep going. And 4. Now exhale from the ribs, the belly. Slowly draw in into that deep contraction of what would happen if somebody punched you in the stomach. Oh, there she got it. 2.
That's a good
3.
image.
Right.
Wow, I'm sweating. Wow.
And 3, lengthen the top of your head. Good. Now exhale. 2, 3, and rest.
Look at all my shaking. That is not a crunch. Wow. This is so much intentional breathing and intentional movement. This is way harder than what we do just mindlessly.
Mindlessly. Next, we're moving on to the single leg stretch. It's a traditional Pilates exercise. So the right knee is into the chest, the left leg is long. Ideally, opposite hand to knee, same hand lower down by the ankle, so you can open out those elbows and broaden the chest. We're going to take a deep breath in. Exhale, draw up into your crunch and lift the left leg just off the mat so it's hovering. Now we're doing a slow breath to go. Inhale, exhale, and lengthen. Inhale, like somebody's pulling your toes away from you. Now, if we wanted to switch it up a little, see if you can get your elbows open, crunch a little deeper. If we want to switch it up, we're going to do breathing in 2s. 2 inhales on the left. Here we go. And inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Let's do one more like this. Now we're going to switch on each breath, still breathing in 2s. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. And elbows open, deep crunch, and roll it back down.
Wow.
What I want you to think of is balancing the quality of motion, the breath, working the abdominals, and the lack of tension in the muscles that you don't want to be using or overusing or gripping in the body. So you're going to take your feet parallel, they're hip width apart. Close your eyes for a second. You're standing tall. Think about the skin of your heels just lightly skimming the floor. Did you see how she shifted her focus forward? In this position, you're going to take a very deep breath in. Exhale, pull the abdominals deep. Slowly start to roll through the spine, and you're going to go all the way down to the floor. One breath. Don't push me out of the way. Keep your heels skimming. Get all the way down. Touch your fingertips. Now take a deep breath in. Pull that belly in like you have a puppet string right here, and I'm going to pull from the abdominals. Don't push into me. Keep coming. Keep coming. Now keep your weight over the balls of the feet. The heels are just skimming, and get all the way upright.
I totally failed that. That is really hard to do.
It's really hard. It gets you to fire up the backs of the legs and really use those abdominals.
I definitely feel it back here.
Yes. The next version of it, you take your little ball, you're going to bring your feet into, it's not a huge releve, but you definitely are in a releve, and the feet are in a very small first position. You definitely have to think of bringing those inner thighs forward, inside calves, ankle bones, all facing forward, and pulling up in those seat muscles. Now you're going to do the exact same thing, rolling down and up. Your goal is not to crush the ball with your heels.
I feel like this is...
Standing up nice and tight. Yes. And relax the arms. So we're not holding in a first position. There it is. Deep breath in. First thing is ribs, belly pulling in and up, and you fold chin to chest, slowly rolling, rolling. And if you need to take more breaths, right? Let your head hang. Take a deep breath in. Here's that puppet string pulling the belly first, then the back. Coming up, keep those inside ankle bones facing forward, inside calf muscles without crunching that ball, and rest.
This is so hard.
Goal at the very end, when you've rolled up and you're still on that ball, is to be able to hold that balance for a second. Check those inner thighs. Are they rotating and facing forward, inside calf muscles? So now you feel super lifted, right?
Yes.
You're lifted into the legs.
Yes.
Now you're ready to go to the bar and start your class. So you're not coming in absolutely cold and there's your first plie.
Yes.
Now you have that feeling of lift and length. The backs of my legs are fired up. I'm using my abdominals just in plies. You give yourself very focused and intense 5 to 10 minutes before class. I guarantee you'll feel really different going in and starting class than you did doing your splits and walking straight into class.
Yes. What happens if you just plop down into your splits and stretch before class?
So what's happening is you're elongating the muscles, but they're cold. And the minute you come back up, think of our TheraBands that we use. If you let go of them, boing, tighten back up again, because your body is not warm yet. Even now, if you've done your minute of cardio, you've done these 4 exercises, you could probably do a little bit of light stretching now before you go to the bar. But I wouldn't do it before you've done your minute of raising your heart rate and your intense abdominal work.
And that's why it's called warming up from the inside out, not stretching your legs out. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys are interested in finding Barbara, she's on Instagram. And you saw how horribly I failed in today's session. These are really hard. It's super, super helpful to have somebody watching you do these movements, because if you just showed me and I was following along, I probably would have done all of these incorrectly. So all of those little micro movements, Barbara can see through Zoom.
I teach a lot on Zoom and I teach in person, so feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you.
Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.